Good evening, Philippines. Good morning, good afternoon, world. Welcome to another interesting episode here at the English Blog. I'm Adrian.
I'm Christine.
And I'm Sarah.
We are the English Blog team. We're a blog of English teachers by English teachers for English teachers.
And believe it or not, you guys, this is the very last episode of the English blog for the year. It has flown by and we are already here. It is season 3, episode 8, Rest, Recharge, Reset. If you're looking to spend some quality downtime for the holidays, then this episode is for you, where we share some of our personal tips on how to have quality downtime. We provide customized lesson plans, curriculum mapping and unit planning services, life and career coaching sessions, weekly vlog and blog content related to ESL education. For more information, send us a message at www.theenglishblog.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Besides our main website, where you can find all our blog and vlog content, we're also active across social media, including Facebook, where you're probably watching this video. We premiere all of our vlogs on Friday nights. So you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. And whatever platform you use, feel free to send us a message on any of those platforms. Talk to us, let us know what you think of the vlogs, what topics you want to see in the future, your stress level from 1 to 10 at the end of the semester here, and anything else you want to share with us and the community of teachers in the English blog.
Okay, so here comes the first question. What does rest do to your brain? So let's talk about the neuroscience of rest first. So you see here in this image, two kinds of brain. One is the unstressed and the other one is the stressed brain. And if you see the prefrontal cortex, that's the one in our forehead. And in the stressed, you see that it's grayed out. This is like the brain scan, and that's how it's color-coded. And when you're stressed, there's actually weaker control of thoughts, emotions, and actions. That's why you lose control a lot. And when you're unstressed, your prefrontal cortex looks green and fresh, and you have tight control of thoughts, emotions, and actions. ScientificAmerican.com says, downtime replenishes the brain stores of attention and motivation, encourages productivity and creativity, and is essential to both achieve our highest levels of performance and simply form stable memories in everyday life. So that simply says that our brain actually never stops working even while we're resting, but at least it has some downtime. Idleness is not just a vacation, an indulgence, or a vice. It is an indispensable to the brain as vitamin D is to the body, and deprived of it, we suffer a mental affliction as disfiguring as rickets. New York Times just says that idleness, not doing anything productive, is actually essential for our brain to function well. Sarah, why is it important for teachers to rest?
So as a teacher and somebody that kind of lives by what Adrian was talking about, my whole life, I would make it a vacation if I could, 100%. It's extremely important for teachers to rest because I think that there are kind of two parts of this. So one is that generally the type of people that become teachers are very caring and very nurturing, and they really want to help people and they care about people. And kind of in order to be a good teacher, you have to be really compassionate and you have to come into your classroom with a lot of emotional energy. And I think that the profession attracts people like that, who are naturally kind of empathetic and compassionate and really do engage with everyone they meet in a really deep, significant, in a draining way sometimes. And so I think it's very important that all of those types of people, whether they're teachers or not, but I think you probably know a couple of them, and you yourself probably are one if you are a teacher. Those people especially are always trying to care for others. And even when it's the holidays, I know the holidays can be a lot of work for people like that, as well as you're managing family time and food and guests. And so I do really want to remind teachers and empathetic people everywhere to just kind of take a step back and know that, yes, you do an excellent job caring for people, but other people can do an adequate or excellent job as well. And breathing a little bit isn't going to kill you or anyone around you this holiday season. And I think partly because people who are teachers and work in education are generally so giving, sometimes I think society constantly expects that. It's one of the few professions where you are always 100% of the time expected to put other people first. And especially if you teach children, you catch a lot of rap, do it for the kids, dig deep within yourself and pull out your last kernel of energy because this child needs it. And you have to be really, really careful. Don't let society get you down, and remember that you really need to rest in order to be present and bring your best to people. You can only give what you have, and if you are totally drained, you have nothing to give. So if that helps motivate you, you want to give more in 2021, take a break in this last month of 2020 and replenish, as the title says, rest, recharge, and reset. You have to recharge in order to do anything in your life, especially engage with people and teach them in a meaningful way.
Amen. That is also my note to self for 2021. How can you use your vacation time to return to class better and stronger?
As Sarah kind of said, rest is kind of one of those things that's super understated in our society. And this is especially true for teachers because it goes both ways. Teachers overwork themselves a lot of the times. And at the same time, you have society telling teachers you're supposed to give and be there for your students. And it's just a one-way thing. And I think that can be very overwhelming for teachers. And so they really need to take advantage of this holiday time and rest as much as they can. But besides resting, I think that another thing that teachers should do is just basic things that are healthy, I think, for your emotional being, like getting in touch with your loved ones. And I have to say that you want to do it in a socially distanced way, and you want to be very careful because of the times that we're living in. But getting in touch with your loved ones should not be ignored, and I think it will work wonders for your mental and emotional health. Another thing that I think you guys should do is think about what you want to do next year. And I'm going to talk from personal experience here because in November and December of last year, I actually saw someone I followed on Instagram. I cannot really remember exactly who it was, but it was a very impactful message for me. And this person said that now is separation season because this is a time where people sit back and they think, oh, I'm just going to relax and not do much. But this guy said, no, this is separation season where I set myself apart from others and I write down my goals for the next year and maybe even for the next 5 years. And I get started working on them rather than waiting until January 1st to get working on my goals. So that is something that I set to do at the end of last year. I got started working on my goals right after listing them down. And I would say that 2020, well, it's been a year of trials and tribulations for a lot of people. For me, I would say it's been largely a year of success for me because I set out to do at the end of last year to write down my goals and get started on them. And it's carried on till now, and I'm super proud. I've maybe accomplished about 50% of the things I listed down, but hey, that's still a lot more than I would have accomplished if I had not written anything down. And I'm super thrilled about that. And then lastly, I would encourage people to take a course, learn new skills. Also, right now, I am taking a certification course in business and corporate training, as well as life coach, and Adrian as well. He kind of introduced me to this. And I think it's a really wonderful investment for yourself, personally and professionally. And don't overdo it. You still want to have as much rest as you can, but use this time to improve yourself and grow and expand as a person.
Yeah, I think to use this break for lots of teachers, that's a great tip from Christine, is to really take some time to think about what you want to do, how you want to do it, and who you are. What kind of like what Christine said at the end of last year, she thought about her passions and what did she want to do and how could she achieve that. And I think oftentimes teachers, especially when you're really stressed and you got all this COVID stuff going on, it's very tempting to just go and think that quantity will save you. But that isn't exactly the case. And you can get, like, relating back to what Adrian said about the neuroscience of your brain, you need rest in order to think creatively and to see a bigger picture, because just like, years ago when we're all living in caves, if you're stressed, it's because there's some kind of animal trying to eat you. So, you're not thinking about, you're not making new words for your language. You're not learning how to weave clothes. You're running from a tiger. So I think it's important to remember that and to take yourself out of this stressed state. Really, really reflect on, am I stressed? And if the answer is yes, your first step is releasing that stress, because you cannot fill it with other things, other dreams, courses you're going to learn, self-improvement, if you're already full of stress. You have to have some breathing room, some literal breathing room, in order to do those. So I think teachers really, really should focus on that. The first thing is, before you have all these ideas of everything you want to do, take a step back and make sure that you have the reserves to do it. And rest assured that these reserves can be replenished. It's not like if you don't have it now on December 18th, you're never going to have it. You just need to take some time and reflect. And don't undervalue rest, because it really makes you more creative. And especially if you're teaching kids, this year has been really, really difficult in the classroom with a bunch of kids trying to wear masks, and you never know what the schedule is going to be and all that kind of drama. And I think you need to really chill out yourself, because these kids are stressed. And if their teacher is stressed, it just goes up and up. Their parents are already stressed. That's a given. So especially if you teach kids, it's vitally important that you really take it down a notch and find your zen, because that will help. You will get such a huge return on that investment in 2021 when school starts back up.
Yep, absolutely. Why is rest important for your students too?
So, rest is super important for your students. It has a host of benefits. There's the obvious physical and mental health benefits. For the physical, it restores people's energy, it fights illness, it strengthens people's immune systems. On the mental side of things, it allows people to think more clearly, it improves their memory, and it creates a more positive mood. And in the end, helps them or prepares them mentally to study and make the most of it. Because if you don't rest, then you're just going to be super tired and exhausted, and you won't be able to think very clearly, and it's going to negatively affect the way you study. Um, if we're talking about this from a certain cultural context, I teach students who come from Japanese, Chinese, and Korean cultures. And I would say that in East Asian cultures, suicide is very common. And one reason for that is because of this intense academic pressure that parents place on their children. And in Korea specifically, It is the #1 cause of death among Korean teenagers, and I saw this on the Korean Herald online. And it is due mostly to academic pressure, and there are 7.7 suicides per 100,000 people for people aged 9 to 24, and that was in 2017, which was slightly down. It was 7.8 in 2016, but still quite alarmingly high. And the value of rest, I have to say, is really, really understated in these cultures. I would say this is all over the world, but from my experiences dealing with students from these cultures, it really is something that they need to pay more attention to and prioritize it a bit more for the sake of their physical, mental, and emotional health. So, rest is extraordinarily important, not just for us teachers, but for students as well. And if you're a teacher, I would encourage you to encourage your students to make the most of their rest time and to take care of themselves. Because I do have students that don't, and I've seen the kinds of negative effects it can have on them. And so I feel that as teachers, it's our responsibility to encourage our students to rest as much as possible and take care of themselves.
And so that we're also reminded that we don't want our students to grow up workaholics, right? We have to walk the talk and set the example. What suggestions do you have to relax? I'm not an expert at relaxing, okay? I'm not an expert at relaxing, but what I do when I'm relaxing
Come on, where are your
is
relaxing credentials? You need to present them.
I read books. I really need to get back at my reading right now because I've been addicted to watching instructional videos on YouTube and listening to Spotify podcasts like HBR, Harvard Business Review, and a lot of interesting stuff on Spotify. So I need to get back at my reading. Netflix. I love watching series and movies on Netflix. And of course, because I have wanderlust, so I love traveling. Even simply walking around my community already gives me joy. That's how shallow I could be sometimes when I relax. How about
Well,
you guys?
I don't think it's shallow, Adrian, but I'm glad. Yeah, I feel you can't really travel the world this
That's true.
this year, but I'm glad you're finding joy in the 3 blocks around your apartment.
Yeah.
That I personally want to do this holiday season are things that I've been doing for a while, actually, on and off. Two things I've been doing are meditation and aerobic exercise. For meditation, there are two people that I want to very strongly recommend. The first one is Susan Piver. And I actually met Susan Piver back in 2015 when she ran a free meditation workshop. I guess they call it a retreat back in Mississippi when I was attending Tulane University in Louisiana. She is a New York Times bestselling author. Go check her out. And she has also given a TED talk on mindfulness meditation. Oh, I do have the name of her book. It's Start Here Now, an open hearted guide to the path and practice of meditation. Highly recommend it. It's changed my life. And the other person I would like to recommend is Dan Harris. He is a household name in the States, I think. He is a journalist for ABC News and an anchor for Good Morning America. And he is the author of a book called 10% Happier. And that's also the name of his podcast, 10% Happier. And I would recommend that for people who are super new to meditation, have no idea what it is, because his videos are quite short and easy to follow. And they always give a little background about what meditation is, and then you delve into meditation. So it's a person that I highly recommend. Another thing that I do is aerobic exercise. And for the past 7 or 8 years, I have been doing HIIT workouts, which if you look them up on the internet, you can find HIIT workouts that are a mix of aerobic training and resistance training. And I think it's worked wonders for me, not just physically, but also mentally and emotionally. Firstly, it reduces your stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which you don't want too much of in your system. And that's definitely bound to happen when you're so overwhelmed and stressed out. And it also stimulates your endorphins, which people call the happy hormone. And I like to start my day as a teacher with HIIT workouts so that I'm all pumped up for the day. I have my coffee and my endorphins, and I'm ready to go. And at the same time, I feel like my stress is relieved and I'm just in a good state overall, mentally and emotionally. So, aerobic exercise and meditation, highly recommend. Check out the people that I mentioned and let me know how it goes.
Boy, Christine, do I have an app for you. Adrian, if you would be so kind as to go to the next slide, please. This is what I have been doing. And if you were resonating with what Christine was just talking about, you want to do some exercise and some meditation and some HIIT workouts, I recommend the Downdog app. Oh, and I want to preface this with everything that me and Christine and Adrian, everything we said, nothing is paid. We are not advertising here. We didn't take any money from anybody. Everything we recommend is stuff that we just do in our own life and want to tell you about. So I love the Downdog. It's a group of apps. And the really cool thing is that they have a yoga app, a meditation app, a HIIT workout app, and a bar workout app, if you like the little kind of ballet, pure barre style stuff. I've done the yoga, and they just released the meditation, I think maybe like 2 weeks ago. And let's just say I've looked at the HIIT, but I have yet to do a real HIIT exercise from Downdog. The cool thing about it is that they are offering, all of those apps are completely free for students and teachers, all the way until July 1st, I think, due to COVID. So if you go to downdogapp.com/schools, you'll have a little questionnaire, and it'll allow you to input your institutional email, domain name, and once they read it, they just want to make sure that people are real teachers and stuff. But once they approve your domain name, anybody with that domain name can work. So if you have like a custom one for your school, you can submit it, and then they'll approve it, and then everybody at your school can do it. If you have a .edu account, which is very common, at least in the US, I don't know, abroad, my Italian master's doesn't have a .edu, but if you have a .edu, you automatically get it. All you have to do is log in, and it'll say, good job, you're a student or a teacher, enjoy. And if you don't have an institutional email that works, you can get a whole month of all of these apps for free. So if you just want to try it out over Christmas break, I have been doing it. I highly recommend it. It's a little bit super weird because it's really, really cheap too. Even if you just pay for it, it's like, they had a big Black Friday sale, and it was like $20, $20 US for a whole year. It's really, really good, and it's super customizable. You can get exactly what you want. So definitely check it out. It's free, and try the school thing if you want to get, if you get really into it and you want to share it with people. I've been doing that. I do yoga, and I also do some, like Christine said, some YouTube exercise, cardio, Pilates videos. I wasn't particularly athletic until the lockdown, when I could not leave my micro apartment on the 7th floor. And then all of a sudden I became into exercise. So maybe give it a try if you're looking for something new. And then the other thing that I recommend and I love to do, Adrian, if you could go to the next slide, please. I absolutely love crafts of any type, specifically fiber crafts. I love crochet, I do hand embroidery, I do cross stitch. And my general tip is you can find all of this stuff for free all over the internet. If you're into a craft and you want to learn, you can 100% do it 100% free. If you like crafting or you're looking for more like professional level videos than you can find on YouTube, I signed up for a site probably 2 months ago called Craftsy. It's American, but they're currently, and it usually is about $70 US per year to subscribe. But they're trying to get a bunch of new people. So they have a promotion going where you can get an entire year for just $2.50 US dollars. That's the promo code. It was working as of this morning. And if you search them enough, you start to see these the ads for them on your Facebook. At least I do. I see at least 5 a day telling me to go get crochet, but I've already bought it. So if you're really, they have more than just knitting and crochet. They also have baking, cooking, writing, watercolors, all kinds of different crafts. Highly, highly recommend it. They've got beginners, they've got videos, they've got articles. You can access some of their content for free as well if you don't want to pay the money. You can still get lots of good crafts. And like I said, you know, the internet is flooded with great crafts. So try to take a minute. It's a great thing to do too when you're at home with your family. And it's all fun and games to be home with your family, but at a certain point, your younger family members and your older family members may get a little bit bored. And this is a great activity you can do together. And anybody can do it. So I highly recommend that. I love making things, real physical objects in the world. So yeah, if you're feeling stressed and you want that kind of outlet and you're really, really tired of looking at a computer screen all the time, I highly, highly recommend some actual handicrafts of whatever you're into. And of course, you can always watch all of the English blog videos on constant loop all over the break.
Don't forget, guys, we provide customized lesson plans, curriculum mapping and unit planning services, life and career coaching sessions, and weekly vlog and blog content related to ESL education. Just get in touch with us at www.theenglishblog.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media, which Sarah will talk about.
So yep, you can find us all across social media. You're probably watching this video on Facebook, and we would love to use the social part of social media. So please leave us a comment. Let us know if you're stressed, if you feel less stressed after watching this video, if you feel more stressed after watching this video, how your Downdog app is going, if you're learning to meditate, if you love the Harvard Business Review. Just talk to us and let us know what you're doing to de-stress. Any other tips for any other teachers out there? You can let us know on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. Almost forgot that one. Across all of those platforms, the English blog would love to hear from you this holiday season and forever.
So there you have it, guys. That wraps up our last episode for this eventful 2020. I hope that you guys would be able to really have some rest, to be able to recharge and to reset. And please, please, please let us know what you guys have in your mind about these things. We'd also like to learn from you. And we hope to see you guys in the new year. So once again, my name is Adrian.
I'm Christine.
And I'm Sarah.
Keep learning, stay healthy and happy. Happy holidays and Happy New Year, everyone. Goodbye.
Have a wonderful holiday season. Bye.
Bye, guys.